Hello there, good afternoon, and welcome to another exciting edition of Football Domain on your number one online television channel, CTV. I remain your host, Wisdom Chingoba, popularly known as the Principal Thing. And guys, I am here to serve you some interesting updates coming from the world of football. Well, as the name of the show implies, it's Football Domain. So literally, we only talk football on this show. Well, if you want to get more info about all the sports, you can do well to join us on all the shows. Yes, and we've also got some hot spots as well right here on CTV. But today our focus is Football Domain, and once again I say a very big welcome to you. We've got some interesting conversation, and in fact, the one making the headline is Manchester United, and that is going to be our major focus for today. Some games went down yesterday in the Carabao Cup as well as the Italian Serie A and the DFB Pokal in Germany, the Dutch Eredivisie games. So many games went down yesterday, but we're going to dwell on those games. But firstly, we're going to start with Manchester United. So once we come back from this break, we'll be going straight to our talking points. So do well to stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit. Alright, once again, welcome back. You're still listening to Football Domain on your number one online television channel, CTV. I remain your host, Wisdom Chingoba. Yes, and welcome back. Yes, guys. So before we went on the break, I said we've got so many talking points, but our focus today, we're going to be starting rather with Manchester United. Yes, so many games went down in the Carabao Cup yesterday, the round of 16, but one team was making the headlines, and that is Manchester United. United are always in the media, always in the news. Well, yesterday they actually made the news for the right reasons, and that was because they got the better of Leicester City by 5 goals to 2. Yes, some games went down in the Carabao Cup. Like I said, let me just give you a rundown of some of those games, and then we'll talk more on Manchester United. So yesterday we saw Brentford defeat Sheffield Wednesday by 5 goals to 4 via penalty kickout after the game ended 1-0. We saw Preston North End lose to Arsenal by 3 goals to 0, and then Newcastle got the better of Chelsea by 2 goals to 0, and surprisingly Tottenham Hotspur defeated Manchester City by 2 goals to 1 at the New London Stadium, well, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium rather. That is making it 6 losses in 8 games. Yes, for Manchester City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So it shows that once Man City goes to Spurs Stadium, it's like a bad omen for them. But moving on, we saw Southampton as well got the better of Stoke City by 3 goals to 2. Brighton and Hove Albion lost to Liverpool by 3 goals to 2 as well. And then Leicester City, or beg your pardon, Aston Villa rather lost to Crystal Palace by 2 goals to 1, and finally Manchester United at Old Trafford got the better of Leicester City by 5 goals to 2. Bruno Fernandes scoring a brace, Casemiro scoring a brace for himself as well, and Alejandro Garnacho getting his name on the score sheet. So United have been making the headlines for all of the right reasons, like I said earlier, and this is due to the fact that they got the victory yesterday over Leicester City. We all know that Eric Ten Hag got sacked on Monday morning by Manchester United, and Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was his assistant, is now standing in as his interim, and he led the boys, out of the tunnel. And during his presser, he was like, you know what, whatever capacity I'm called to serve Manchester United, I would make myself available. And during his presser, he said, our focus is just to attack, and that was exactly what Manchester United did yesterday. They came out guns blazing first half. in Portugal, coaching Portugal. We joined them back in 2020, and in fact. And in fact, he's won 2 trophies. He's won the Portuguese Premier Liga twice. He's won the Portuguese Premier Liga twice within his 4 years in charge, and he's established a wonderful playing style in Sporting. He's been a menace in the Portuguese league. In fact, the fans of FC Porto and Benfica have been celebrating the fact that he would be leaving Sporting CP so that they can, establish their dominance back. Since he became the manager of Sporting CP, Sporting have been, they've been all round. They've been dominant. They've been dominant in the league. So it's a good one for Manchester United as well. So that is that for Ruben Amorim. Well, like I said earlier, he would be taking charge of Manchester United come November 11th. At least that is what the reports are saying about Ruben Amorim. But Manchester United fans, this is just me being what's the word to use? Will I say critical? Don't get your hopes high, because before Erik ten Hag got fired, he came into Manchester United on a very wonderful note. Yes, in fact, he was dominant in the Dutch Eredivisie, winning the Dutch Eredivisie with Ajax back to back for 3 consecutive seasons, establishing dominance. In fact, when he was still the manager of Ajax, he came up against Sporting Lisbon with Ruben Amorim in charge, and he smashed them 4-2 and 5-1 both times they met, to show you that Erik ten Hag is also a man of pedigree, or was a man of pedigree before coming to Manchester United. And he set the bar high. So Ruben Amorim as well, for United fans, don't get your hopes high. Don't get your hopes high, because the Premier League is a different caliber, and the truth is Manchester United are currently in a bad spot right now. So any manager coming in to take up that job, he's really got his work cut out for him. But moving on from Ruben Amorim, let me just give you a rundown of the games once again that went down yesterday for the Carabao Cup. I said earlier that Brentford got the better of Sheffield Wednesday by 5-4 via penalties. Arsenal defeated Preston by 3-0. Newcastle defeated Chelsea 2-0. Tottenham Hotspur got the better of Manchester City by 2-1. Southampton defeated Stoke City by 3-2. Brighton lost to Liverpool by 3-2 as well. Manchester United got the better of Leicester City by 5-2. And finally, we saw Aston Villa lose to Crystal Palace by 2-1. And that was that for the round of 16 for the Carabao Cup. But the quarterfinals have been set already. Yes, the games that would go down in the quarterfinal, and we have some interesting fixtures for the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup. We know that Manchester United won that won that trophy in Erik ten Hag's first season in charge of the club, and then second season United went on to win the FA Cup. But Liverpool won the Carabao Cup last season, so they are the defending champions, and they are still in this one. For Liverpool, as the defending champions, in the quarterfinal, they will be coming up against Southampton. The date is yet to be decided, but the fixtures have been set. So Southampton would take on Liverpool, and then Manchester United would welcome Tottenham Hotspur, or should I say they would go away to Tottenham Hotspur for their quarter-final fixture in the Carabao Cup. And then we get to see Newcastle take on Brentford, and finally Arsenal would take on Crystal Palace. So that is how it stands for the Carabao Cup quarterfinal. These are some interesting fixtures. Well, the two games that I would say a whole lot of eyes would be on would be Manchester United taking on Spurs, and then Liverpool taking on Southampton. Probably we could see Arne Slot finally go for his first trophy as a Liverpool manager. Who knows? But Mikel Arteta and Arsenal are still in the conversation, and then Manchester United under a potential new manager in Ruben Amorim, wondering how far he will take them when he takes over the reins of Manchester United come November 11. So we are going to go on a very quick break, guys. Once we return, I will be giving you updates from other games that went down yesterday. We saw games go down in the Serie A, we saw games go down in the DFB Pokal, that is the German Cup, and so many games that went down as well. So let's go on this quick break. Once we return, we'll be concluding with games from other leagues. Alright, once again, you're welcome back. You're still listening to Football Domain on your number one online television channel, CTV, and I remain your host, Wisdom Chinwoba, popularly known as Ruben Amorim, beg your pardon. And so we're going to move in over from that conversation, and I'm going to give you a rundown of the games that went down yesterday. Like I said earlier, or like I've been saying, that so many games went down yesterday. It's the football, but back to yesterday in the Serie A, we saw Inter Milan smash Empoli by 3-0. Venezia got the better of Udinese by 3-2. Atalanta defeated Monza by 2-0, and Juventus played out a 2-2 draw against Parma. Moving over to the DFB Pokal in 2-1. Freiburg got the better of Hamburger SV by 2-1. Hertha Berlin FC Heidenheim ended 2-1 in favor of Hertha Berlin, and Werder Bremen got the better of Paderborn by 1-0. Arminia Bielefeld defeated Union Berlin by 2-0. Dynamo Dresden of Nuremberg by 2-1, and the biggest winners of yesterday's game was FC Bayern Munchen, doing what they know how to do best by smashing Mainz 05 by 4-0. Jamal Musiala getting a hat-trick for himself, his first ever hat-trick in a Bayern shirt. Jamal Musiala yesterday against Mainz 05 in the DFB Pokal. We saw in the Eredivisie as well. Feyenoord lost to Ajax by 2-0. Ajax, they seem to be finding their feet back after some seasons. Yes, when Erik ten Hag left Ajax, they struggled to find a good replacement for him, and they've been struggling, but they seem to be finding their way back gradually this season. They defeated Feyenoord by 2-0 yesterday, and that was that. We also saw in the Portuguese League, for the Portuguese League Cup, it ended 3-0 in favor of Benfica against Santa Clara. Now moving over to the games that would be going down today in the Serie A, we've got Genoa taking on Fiorentina. That game would be by 6:30. And then we got Como taking on Lazio, and then Roma would take on Torino. Those are the games that would go down in the Serie A. We've also got some other games set to go down. Yes, and in the League Cup, yes, that's talking about the Portuguese League. We get to see SC Braga take on Victoria de Guimarães, and then we get to see FC Porto take on Moreirense.